Well, hello and welcome, everybody. This is Randy Replay. Brooklyn Beats Football is on the air and it is online. Today, we take on the Miami Dolphins at their new stadium, but before we get you out to kickoff, we have a couple things to cover. The injury report for both teams, as we almost always do. Jesse Peterson's still out with a broken collarbone for 3 more weeks. Of course, Chimako injured in last week's game. He's out for 5 more. And for the Dolphins, they have a slew of injuries, including a couple of key pieces to their offense and defensive line. Bobby McCain dislocated ankle. He is out for 3 more weeks. Ndamukong Suh. Of course, I'm only kidding. Ndamukong Suh, the hardest name to pronounce in the NFL. For me, anyway. Partial PCL tear. He's coming off that. He'll be out for 2 more weeks. Matt Khalil. Everybody remembers him. Partial PCL tear. He's out for 4 more weeks. And then Dennis Pitta, the tight end. Broken thumb. Out for 1 more week. So there is a little bit of a... I wouldn't say panic mode going down, but your best defensive tackle, obviously, is out for this game. And, yeah, hopefully it shows. Nothing else to report on the practice squad. It's remained the same. And, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, Watts Gallery is still the kick return. We're going to get you out to kickoff. This has been Randy Replay. I will see you at halftime.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Beats going up against the Dolphins. So with that, let's get right out to the stadium. Brandon Godden and Charles Davis have the call on this Week 4 matchup.
Larry, we come to you from a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls with an 11th on the way in 2020. Yes, we are in beautiful Miami, Florida. Today, it's Week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Brooklyn Beats and the Miami Dolphins. Hi, everyone. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis. Charles, you look at the Dolphins as they enter play in this one. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for Brooklyn, our visitors, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
This will be fielded at the 6. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They're led out by their strong-arm quarterback out of Texas A&M. It's Ryan Tannehill. Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill going to throw deep for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Devontae Parker, his first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead. Not a bad way to start it.
And I think that was part of their script because so many teams script their 30 plays. That had to be...
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Taking it right down Broadway. He's at the 50, 30, past the 20. And he brings this all the way back. So forget 7-0. It's 6-2. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they are led out there by their mobile quarterback.
On that play, but look for him to try it again later.
They'll look to throw here. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And pitch on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception. Here necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
And his kick is indeed good, but there is a penalty marker down. They might be forced to try this one again.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
Must be expecting the run. Now Tannehill. This will be caught at about the 5. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Jordan Cameron, his first touchdown on the year. And then it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's got some space here. The 20. Touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver, 105 yards. And his guys have made this a one-score game now.
Well, he made the right choice by result, but a little bit surprising because now with touchbacks coming back to the 25 instead of the 20, when guys fielded that deep in the end zone, I think most coaches want them to take a knee.
Yeah, it's resulted in more kneel downs. Not right there. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. Here's Jarvis Landry now on the return. Jarvis Landry, the 40. He's at the 30. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jarvis Landry, 92 yards. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him, kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a 6 DBs in the game. To throw is Tannehill. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Devontae Parker with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. On play action, they'll throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And now off to the races down the right side. And touchdown. Play there. 82 yards. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches the football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. Back to the air, Tannehill on second down. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. And some room to work. A great read, and it's picked off.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team. Then find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never moved.
And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Their big tight end, his first touchdown on the year. And his guys are able to make this a close game again. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. I think the second down is the time you go play action and throw the ball.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Devontae Parker on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And play action fake. They'll look to throw toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a first down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
The pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And this one is right down Broadway. Out of the gun now on third down. Gonna throw right side here, complete. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45.
Outfield or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And all the way in for the touchdown. Their big-bodied receiver, his second touchdown on the season. And his guy's now just a 2-point conversion away from tying us up. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd...
Out of the gun, Tannehill. He's got time, and he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And his kick is right there. It's good. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you up to Orlando. And with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Larry Ridley.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Charles. And welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Dolphins are happy to be sitting in the locker room with a lead. The Beats didn't play their best, and they'll need to be at their best now to come back. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Well, thank you for that, guys, and welcome to the halftime break, rather. Great play from a couple of players here on our offensive side. We're going to get you into these player stats and recognize them right now. Kenny Erickson, 115.7 quarterback rating. He is 10 for 18. That is 55% completion percentage for those of you that don't know how to do math or didn't look over here. 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the 1 interception in the first quarter. So Kenny Erickson is one of the guys who has been playing very good. It's just the offensive line is crumbling here. They're getting very tired being on the field so much, and it's a long season. We're only 4 games in, I realize, but it is a long season, and we need to get going here with the running game. How about that? So the running game, not a whole lot to look at here. Sam Gable leads the team with 5 carries, but he does have -7 yardage. Daniel Henricks, 3 carries for 11 yards, and Justin Vandershoff, 2 carries for 12 yards here in the first half. Receiving, it's all been Josh Gable, 4 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Luke Slazewski also has two catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. And then Anthony Bisbee with the big one to get us back in this thing. 1 catch, 42 yards, and a touchdown, channeling his inner Randy Moss. We're going to go to nobody cares about offense, or nobody cares about blocking, rather. Then we're going to go to defense, look at total tackles, and we do have a shot for a double-double in this game. Zachary Anderson and Robert Nichols each split 6 tackles. Aaron Nelson, Thaddeus Rozu, Xavier Rhodes with 5. We do have a lot of tackles for loss. Tevin Fair has 3, Thaddeus Rozu. Jacob Pickering, Xavier Rhodes has 2. And then we did add a sack here in the first half with Jeremy Lindsey and Robert Nichols on the interception there, going 31 yards back. Couple pass deflections, Jacob Pickering, Xavier Rhodes. Forced fumbles, 0. Fumble recovery, 0. We do have a blocked kick from Matthew Arnsdorf that was returned by... I'm spacing on who it was. I do believe it was Robert Nichols for a touchdown, but I could be wrong. Brandon Baker, 1 for 1 on field goals, longest of 46. He is 4 for 4 on extra points. Punting, Taylor Pleen, 1 punt, 47 yards, netting 46. And then Watts Gallery. What can we say about this guy? 4 kick returns, 200 yards almost, and 1 touchdown. The longest was 105. He did have another good one, but it was called back due to penalization. So we're going to get you out to the new Miami Stadium, where we return the second half kick, hopefully for a touchdown. Watts Gallery, I'm wishing you luck. This has been Randy Replay. I will see you after the game.
Go to the football and make a play.
They're going to look to throw. That is caught. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And his guys have taken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His second touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to... On second down, here's Tannehill. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. He'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking.
Throwing on third down, Tannehill finding time. Now he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. Offense looks to punch it in here and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. It's the fullback, his first touchdown on the year.
In the end zone.
Touchdown, great run, and the score. Here's Landry. Now a hit and a loose football. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. So they get... Here's Tannehill. Under pressure, and he's going to go down. He'll wind up losing a full 9 yards. They're going to go for this thing. They're not going to leave anything to chance. They're going to roll the dice on 4th and goal.
Here we go now.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. They tried to let the fullback pound it in between the tackles, but he stopped up short. And the Dolphins celebrate their goal line stand. Here comes Ryan Tannehill now, leading his offense back out there. And the stats on the screen tell the story. A great start. This defense, they made some good adjustments, so he's fallen off since.
Have to like what they did at the half, but you also have to like the fact that they hung in there. Despite the fact they had a tough first half, he was locked in, right? And rocking and rolling. They came out, made their adjustments, got their confidence back. Now they're causing him all sorts of trouble.
Here's Tannehill now on second down. And this one is incomplete. Jarvis Landry, the intended receiver, and that takes us from second to third down.
It appears that the pressure is affecting him today. Normally, he knows exactly when to get rid of the football, but today, because he's been hit a few times, he's getting rid of it a little bit too quickly.
From the gun on third down, Tannehill. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction. Some room and allow him to go to work.
Now it's Tannehill. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. the gun. Here's Tannehill. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this is incomplete. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Brooklyn, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll have another road date next week with the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. And with that, we sign off from Miami.
And with that sign off, we send you back into the booth at this new beautiful stadium. It's very, very good cosmetically, and the broadcast booth here is delectable, I would say so myself. Yeah, the Brooklyn Beats just getting it done here. A pick six by Jacob Pickering, sacks, turnovers. I know there was a fumble there, and yeah, we've had a lot of things to cover here in the second half. Lots of action, lots of points scored. So Kenny Erickson will climb to 128.2 QB rating. He was 16 for 25. That is 64% completion, for those of you that don't know how to do math or didn't look right here. 299 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rushing, everybody got involved here. Travis Parker ended the day with 9 carries for 46 yards. Sam Gable with 9 for 19. Vandeshoff with 8 for 37. Henrik, 7 for 42. Matthew Peterson got involved here, 5 for 12 and a touchdown. And Kenny Erickson even ran it twice for 8 yards. He did have a fumble, though. Josh Gable ended the game with 4 for 56 and a touchdown, 3 catches, 95 yards and a touchdown for Luke Lazuski. And Anthony Bisbee, the biggest contributor today in the receiving game, 3 catches, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Darian Wilson, 2 for 41. Blake Latelli, 1 for 13. Lou Wang, 1 for 7. Cameron Quick, 1 for 5. Vandershoff, 1 for 6. Nobody cares about blocking, so we're going to go to defense and look at total tackles, and we were 3 tackles away from a double-double. All for naught, though, it's okay. 9 tackles by Thaddeus Rozu, 8 by Robert Nichols, 7 by Zachary Anderson, Jacob Pickering, who had the pick 6 there thrown into his lap, literally. Tevin Fair each have 7. Xavier Rhodes and Josh Fitzer with 6. Aaron Nelson, Scott Ruthwell, Juwan Winters, the rookie, with 3. So Juwan Winters, what a story. He is out of Southern Illinois. He is a rookie, and he's already getting tackles by the bunches. Otis McMiller, Jeremy Lindsay, and Matthew Arnsdorf each with 2. Justin Lewis, Luis Gonzalez, Thomas Cross, Drew Ward, Travis Lee, and Brandon Baker, the kicker, each adding 1 there. So we've added a couple more tackles for loss. Tevin Fair ends the game with 3. Thaddeus Rozu, Jacob Pickering, Xavier Rhodes with 2. Zachary Anderson, Robert Nichols, Thomas Cross, Jeremy Lindsay, and Drew Ward each with 1. We've added sacks by the bunches here in the second half. Tevin Fair had 3 to end the game. Otis McMiller, Jeremy Lindsay, Jacob Pickering with 1 sack, and then Lewis and Rethwell split 1. Interceptions, we added another. Jacob Pickering's touchdown interception goes for 0 yards because, well, he caught it at the goal line and ran it in. So we put offensive pressure, almost had a safety with a Tevin Fair's sack, but he just squeaked the ball out of the end zone there. So the safety was all for naught. Couple pass deflections by Justin Lewis, Matthew Arnsdorf there right at the end of the game on the 4th down, Jacob Pickering, and Xavier Rhodes. Forced fumbles, we had one by Scott Rethwold, recovered by Luis Gonzalez on the kickoff. Fumbled return for 26 yards. One block kick by Matthew Arnsdorf. No safeties, and 2 defensive touchdowns by Luis Gonzalez on the block, or the fumble return on the kickoff, and Jacob Pickering on the pick 6. Kicking, Brandon Baker was 100%, 1 for 1, if you don't know how to do math, from 46, 8 for 8 on extra points. Taylor Pauline, 1 punt, 47 yards, netting 46 on the 1-yard return. Kick returns, Watts, Gallery did not get another opportunity. Instead, Robert Nichols had another one, 4 for 199 and a touchdown, longest of 105. I think that is the longest of the series for Minnesota Vikings or Brooklyn Beats, whichever you want to call them. Robert Nichols, 2 for 45, longest of 27. And Robert Nichols also added 1 punt return for 14 yards. We are going to get you back now to the main screen where we will preview next week's game and we will review everything here. I'm going to go down and say hello to ex-Minnesota Viking kicker Mario Alvarez. Of course, we dropped him in the offseason. We let him test free agency waters, and he signed with the Miami Dolphins. So while we're sending you back to the main screen, I'm going to go connect with him and talk about how the new season is going. He did have a very, very good game, actually. We're going to go and we're going to take a look. Now that I'm thinking about it, the Dolphins, we're going to go to kicking. We're going to take a look at Mario Alvarez. He was 2 for 2, 100%, longest from 43. We did block an extra point. Sorry there, buddy. But 2 for 2, 100, longest of 43. He definitely has the kick power. So I'm going to go say hello to him as I send you back to the main screen, and then I will rejoin you from the field. How about that? A little on-field action, OFA, if you will. And yeah, so see you in a little bit, I suppose. And if you haven't noticed, as we're back here on the main screen, we do have a player ready to negotiate his contract. We're going to see who that is in a little bit. And if you haven't noticed, my voice is a little bit more raspy than normal. Well, as you will see after the upload happens, we had a meltdown over on the hockey side of the SSN. We just had a complete... well, I'm going to let you watch it for yourself. The game caused Randy to have a little bit of raised voice, if you will. So we're gonna get into this contract here. Let's see. We have Brandon Baker ready to negotiate his contract, and then Luis Vasquez here in a couple weeks here. 3 weeks to be exact. Taylor Pauline, of course, the star quarterback. Oh, wow, okay. The star punter, sorry. He wants 3 years for 5.01, actually. $1 million, I think we can give that to him. But Brandon Baker, 5-year, $20 million deal with a 5.3 signing bonus, and that is a fair offer. We're going to go in here and see what happens. So he wants a 5-year, $20.2 million. As you can see, the accuracy is good, the kick is good. We're gonna offer him. Yeah, we're gonna make the offer here. I think we have the cap room for it. Here we go. And it's all about the money for Brandon Baker, apparently. But he is has the offer submitted. So we're going to preview next week's game here. It is Week 5 in the NFL, and we have the Detroit Lions coming in at 2-2. We are 3-1. I do believe still atop the NFC North. Yes, indeed. As the Packers and the Bears congregate there at the bottom of the barrel. As we look ahead after this week, it gets really, really rough. As we have the Cowboys and the Patreons. Well, once again, we like to thank everybody for tuning in here on the SSN I almost said Minnesota Vikings again. As the Brooklyn Beats are victorious over the Miami Dolphins 61-40. With that win, we add some separation on the Lions, and with this week, we can add a little bit more. If we climb to 4-1, that puts us 2 games ahead of the rest of the NFC North, 3 games over the basement-dwelling Packers and Bears. I've said my hellos to Mario Alvarez here. We've got everything out of the way. We're gonna take a look at offers here, just to be silly. Danny Pickering, of course, our starting middle linebacker. They want oh my heavens, a round 6? That's revolting. So, nothing really here that stepped. We're not giving him to Green Bay or Detroit. Round 3 and round 6. I had no idea we were fielding offers even for this kid. He has 4 sacks and 172 tackles in his career. Of course, third-year man. Yeah, so that's going to do it here. Once again, your Brooklyn Beats victorious over the Miami Dolphins, 61-40, as we still hold on to the NFC North. This has been Randy Replay. I'll see you in the next one.